Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Wilhelm Scream, and welcome back to the channel for more Destiny 2 news and intel. Today, once again, is Friday, so we have our Friday weekly update. XUR has returned, as well as Trials of Osiris, so I'll give you a brief rundown on those two things, as well as all the other farms, glitches, and cheeses that you can use heading into the weekend. If you haven't had a chance to play very much this week, remember Festival of the Lost is still going on, so there are some really great farms if you're looking for exotic class items. There was also a new solo farm glitch that was added to the game just on the 5th that you might have missed out on if you hadn't seen my last video. Remember, we also had daylight savings time if you're in the States, so XUR now arrives an hour earlier. Today, XUR is selling. We have the Sunshot Catalyst. Definitely pick this up. This is a great weapon for PvE, and the Catalyst only makes it better. It pairs very well with most builds, especially since Prismatic has been around. So I would think this is a really worthy catalyst to spend some strange coins on if you don't have it. We have the Traveler's Chosen Catalyst, which I haven't used in quite a while, but is a unique exotic. We have a Foe Tracer helmet for the Hunter class with a 65 roll, high mobility, and high strength. We have a Stronghold gauntlets for the Titan class with a 66 roll, high mobility, and also high strength, decent recovery and discipline. And then we have the Orphidian aspect for the Warlock class, the gauntlets with a 66 roll, high recovery, and high intellect. Of the three exotics available this week, I would say the Orphidian aspect is probably the best one for Warlocks to pick up. I don't know exactly how these suit into the meta. The rolls don't seem to be super good, at least for the Titan. The Hunter is actually not a bad roll, though I don't know exactly where this exotic falls. Seems like it might not be too bad in PvP at the moment. I don't think it ever really was, but I don't think it's the go-to. But the Orphidian aspect is my go-to exotic for PvP, just because you get improved melee range and reload speed and all that good stuff. This isn't a bad roll. 66 is pretty high, and recovery, intellect, decent stat distribution. We have exotic ciphers available this week from XUR. Unfortunately, no exotic class items or Artifice armor, but I'm going to tell you some really good ways to get both of those things. You won't need XUR this weekend if you're looking to farm them out. We also still have the XURF board, the XUR skimmer, if you haven't picked it up. Fret none, I will pick this up. I just like to keep it here. If anybody's like, why haven't you picked it up? I always get somebody asking why I haven't actually bought it yet. It's because I want to be able to show it to you, and once you pick this up, it's gone forever. So I want to be able to remind all you viewers who haven't, or maybe haven't been able to get the 97 strange coins necessary in order to buy the XURF board, you definitely should. Skimmers are awesome. Over on our second page, we have the exotic cipher quest from XUR. So you can get a lot of exotic ciphers this week from XUR if you're looking for them to upgrade your exotic armor pieces to essentially Artifice armor. You're going to need them. On the strange offers page, we have 3 enhancement cores for 5 strange coins. Skip it. We have Ascendant Alloy for 2 Ascendant Alloy for 71 strange coins. Also skip it. We have 5 enhancement cores for 5 strange coins. Also not worth it. Glimmer is always worth it. These are radically low prices for that much glimmer, and I always make sure to pick up. You can always use a little bit more glimmer. You never run out of needing glimmer. We have Nightfall ciphers this week for anybody who's looking to get one of the adept weapons from the Nightfall. There's been some good ones. We had the new glaive last week. We have the Favor of the Nine buff. Remember to pick this up if you're looking to farm out strange coins. Remember that doing strikes from the actual, not the playlist, but the actual select screen on the Cosmodrome are still the fastest way to farm out strange coins. Any of the strikes there will be faster than any of the strikes anywhere else. I always prefer the Devil's Lair, excuse me. You can just select that one from the actual Cosmodrome screen, and just go and farm it over and over again with this buff active, especially if you stack it 3 times, you'll be getting a lot of strange coins very quickly. Over on our strange gear offers page, we have the Hawkmoon with Snapshot Sight and Heavy Grip. We have the Arbalist, a must-have for endgame PvE. If you don't have it, pick it up. Has the intrinsic trait. It'll break barrier champions' shields. It's just a really good weapon to have on hand. We have a Hardlight for, well, the Hardlight auto rifle. Interesting weapon, as it does have the ricochet rounds and you can swap the burns, so fairly versatile. And then we have the Colony, the ultimate troll weapon for Gambit, if anybody's still playing Gambit. This is the one that ruins lives. Or just annoys people enough to want to quit playing Gambit, which was kind of the reasons for me stopping playing Gambit. Let me know if you're going to be picking up any of these or any of the exotic armor pieces down in the comment section below. Of course, we'll give you another entry into the next giveaway on this YouTube channel. We do one every 1,000 subscribers. Remember, you never want to miss out. For legendary weapons, we have the No Reprieve with Stats for All, Wellspring, Right Hook. It's a deep sight activation weapon. We have a Distant Pull with Ambitious Assassin, Opening Shot, and Unsalted Hunger. Another deep sight activation weapon. We have First In, Last Out with Autoloading Holster and Surrounded. We have our Cartesian Coordinate with Slideways and Thresh. And I just want to make a quick look. It's also a Charge Time Masterwork. I always recommend picking up a Cartesian. It's really great burst damage. This might not be the best roll, but Charge Time is the best Masterwork you can get on this, which is already a very fast fusion rifle. We have an Interference 6 with Clown Cartridge and Full Court. Seems like a pretty decent roll. We have a Falling Guillotine with Balanced Guard, Relentless Strike, and Counterattack. And then we have an Eternity's Edge for the Warlock with Infinite Guard, Energy Transfer, and Surrounded. Infinite Guard, excuse me. For the armor set this week, we have the Hold Fast armor set. The gauntlets for the Warlock are very highly rolled as far as stats go, but not a great distribution. We also have a pretty decent chest piece, an alright helmet, and an alright set of boots. I wouldn't really recommend picking up any of these this week just because, well, maybe the chest piece. Not great stat distributions. Similar rolls on the Hunter and the Titan. I think the Titan got one halfway decent high stat roll as well as stat distribution. So that is going to be it for all the information regarding XUR this weekend. Hopefully you can pick something up. We're going to make our way over to St. 14 to see what the weapon is, the Adept weapon for Trials this weekend. I can tell you on the way there that if I don't run into the wall, that the Trials map, while I'm looking at my notes, is Burnout, which is out of rotation. It was I think supposed to be Javelin 4. And it is a double XP weekend. So make sure that maybe you jump into some Trials, as there is a very decent weapon from Trials this weekend as well, which I will show you in just 1 second. But on our way over to St. 14, I just want to stop off quickly over at Commander Zavala, as we do have GM Nightfalls back, remember, and this week's reward for getting the Nightfall or GM Nightfall completion is the Shadow Price, the Adept form in the GM. The GM this week is Proving Grounds, or the Nightfall Strike is Proving Grounds. Proving Grounds on GM is not an easy one. It's a really long strike. The boss has received a few updates. For some reason, certain things that we used to use in that strike don't seem to work anymore when it comes to the boss shields. And now every single time you enter the shield, the boss seems to immediately slam. Didn't always used to work that way. They also have added barriers underneath where the bridge was in the back that you could hide underneath. So I do have a gameplay for the new updated Proving Grounds and all the things you can use. We did find a few new glitches and some old ones that still worked. So if you'd be interested in seeing a gameplay run through on the GM Proving Grounds, let me know in the comments section down below. Of course, we'll give you another entry into the next giveaway for this video. Also remember, when and if we reach 100,000 subscribers on the channel, we'll be giving away an Xbox or a PlayStation or a video card if you play on PC. And now over at Saint 14, this week's Adept weapon, which I think a lot of people are probably going to want to go after, is XUR'S Care, the pulse rifle. And pulse rifles are in a really good place as far as PvP goes at the moment, and this is a really good one. It's good for PvE as well. I'm unfortunate, of course, that might not be the thing that gets taken advantage of the most, just because a lot of PvE-focused players don't really play trials. But if you can get your hands on one of these, it's worth it, even just the base rolls. Because of just having a strand pulse rifle, which are very good at the moment, and some of the rolls that you can get, I believe you can get hatchlings and slice, maybe not slice, but I think you can get hatchlings for that. So good weapon just all around. We have the yesterday's question hand cannon with dragonfly and moving target. Remember, available at rank 6. And we rank 10, and then we have the tomorrow's answer available at rank 16. Both of these are also very good weapons. If you're looking for some free trials loot, remember you can still do the viewer bounties, which just requires you linking a Twitch account and your Bungie account, and then go watching some Twitch streams of anybody streaming Trials of Osiris over the weekend. I'll leave a link in the comments section down below if anybody I know happens to be streaming Trials this weekend. And now let's just do a brief trip around the Destiny 2 directory really quick. Over on the moon, down at the bottom, we have our Duality as one of our featured dungeons this week. Duality does award Artifice armor. We also have the Garden of Salvation receiving an update on the 5th, and now you can get weapons from the secret chests. So if you didn't see my last video, there is some very easy glitching that you can do in order to get those 2 secret chests and thereby red border weapons from this raid, because they will drop from those secret chests completely solo. So if you're a solo player looking to farm out some red border weapons from Garden of Salvation, check out my last video. But that is available, became available on the 5th. Over on the Dreaming City, we also have our other featured dungeon in the Shattered Throne, and our featured raid, or one of our featured raids, the Last Wish raid. You can also get some free red borders from solo if you do the secret chests in there, which are very easy to get to because of the wish wall. Over on Savathun's Throne World, which I do own the expansion, I'm just on my PC. Play on console, everybody. I always get a question about that every weekend. I do own all the expansions on console, but over in Savathun's Throne World is where the other raid for this week is, in Vow of the Disciple. And over on the Pale Heart today, we have our legendary Lost Sector in the Blooming Deep. Remember, as I said before, it's double XP weekend for, I believe, all Crucible playlists, but maybe it's just Trials of Osiris. But either way, it'll count towards Trials of Osiris. And remember, the Vanguard Nightfall Strike is the Proving Grounds with a lot of interesting new ways of telling us what the burns are. But not terribly tough when it comes to the champions, but just a really difficult strike to do when it comes to the final boss. As far as really good ways to farm out exotic class items for the week, Remember that we can still get exotic class items from the Festival of the Lost, and the best way to farm out candy currently is probably just to do the overloads, or head over to the Onslaught and just do the Onslaught playlist. But if you're somebody who doesn't play on all three characters, I really suggest you should, because you can essentially get all the candy you'll need just by going to the tower and going to the two trees, the one that's right by where Ava Levant is. You'll get a lot of candy from the first tree, but there's also more in the candy by Ikora Ray. So if you're looking to farm out just some easy candy, that's probably the best way to do it. Just hop on all three characters, go into the tower. It counts across your account. So you collect the candy on all three characters, it accumulates, and then you can buy the exotic class item for your main character. Even if you're somebody who plays all three characters, I would have forgotten about this. I kind of thought it was per character, but just remember, there's this tree and the other one over by Ikora Ray. Easy candy, easy way to get your exotic class item unlocked. And remember, once you unlock your exotic class item through the Festival of the Lost, you can then go and farm it at any one of the normal sources for exotic class items. So things like Overthrow, and if XUR has them, that kind of thing. The last thing I wanted to just briefly discuss was over on Europa for the Vespers host raid. There was an update to the out of bounds glitch that we would do to bypass the first section of the raid, but it has not fixed the second section, which really allowed you to solo for, not raid, for the dungeon, solo for the dungeon loot. So if you're looking to farm out some really good god rolls, which have been changed now with perk weighting, you can get those new god rolls now. The ones that you weren't able to get, you still just have to do the first encounter. It's the first boss fight, but you can do that encounter by skipping past it and going into the second encounter. Some people say it's not really an encounter. We'll call it encounter 1.5, where you have to deposit the 5 bombs. But as soon as you deposit 3 in that section, which is a lot easier than when you're having to fight the Brig, the first encounter auto-completes. You can just go back, pick up the loot. You can get Artifice armor that way. You can get some of the new weapons that way. And with perk weighting fixed, or at least supposedly fixed, you should be able to get some of those god rolls. But I just want to make sure everybody knows that you still just need to, if you're a solo player, get through that first part of the dungeon, which isn't that difficult. And then you can do the skip still. Out of bounds. If you're in a group, you can save the checkpoint. I discussed and did a little bit more of a tutorial. If you're new, haven't done any of that stuff, if you want to know exactly how to glitch into the Garden of Salvation or Vespers host, you can check out my last video on the channel. And that is going to be it for all the information in today's video. I know it was a lot of stuff to cover. Hopefully you found something in this video informational. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. You can also follow me on Instagram. It'll be linked in the description box down below. Turn on the bell to post notifications so you never miss out on any future Destiny 2 content like this. Any of those things I just mentioned also enter you into any future giveaways on this channel. We do one every 1,000 subscribers, as I said before. When and if we reach 100K, we'll be giving away that Xbox or PlayStation or video card. You can also leave a hashtag XUR or hashtag Trials of Osiris or hashtag Festival of the Lost or hashtag The Final Shape or hashtag Revenant in the comments section down below for another entry into the next giveaway for this video, or any of the comments I might have asked for during the process of this video, or anything I might have said incorrectly. There's always something I said incorrectly secretly in the comment section down below if you can find the secret thing, or who knows, maybe I said a few more things. We'll also give you an entry into the next giveaway. And once more, I'm Wilhelm Scream. Hopefully everybody has a great weekend, and of course we will see you next time.